everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario. If you don't have your own demonstrator and you live in Canada, feel free to shop with me. My email is stampsandtea@gmail.com and my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. Welcome everybody. It's another cold day in here in Simcoe, Ontario. Good day for crafting, of course. So I am going to just turn the camera right down and we'll get started. We'll look at the catalogue, we'll see what we're going to use, and you'll see the project we're going to make today. Just give me a second. The project we're going to make today is a tower of boxes. It's 3 little boxes. This one I'm going to make, this one I made, I'm going to put a happy birthday sign on it. It's 3 separate boxes tied together with a ribbon. Nice present for somebody's birthday. But I got to thinking and I thought, well, we could also make this into a Valentine package. Okay, so in the January to June mini catalogue, that's this one, on page 9 we have a beautiful Valentine's set, Sweet Conversations bundle. The bundle is of course the stamps and the dies, which are lovely. This is the dies here. You've got a little envelope cut out, some hearts, labels, everything you need, and the stamp set is called Sweet Conversations as well, and you've got little almost like little candy hearts, you know, it stamps out little candy hearts. So if you were to purchase, say, the Sweet Conversations bundle and the embossing folder, or the Sweet Conversations and the DSP, which is absolutely beautiful, you would spend more than $60, and then of course you could pick a free item from the Celebration catalogue, and the Celebration runs right up to February 28th 2022, so don't miss out on that, because Celebration items are a good deal. Nice to get a free stamp set or a free DSP, whatever is your choice. So let me just put this to one side and we'll get started on what we're making. Now what I've got here is quite the assortment of goodies. I have some chocolates, some unscented tea lights, and a lovely bar of soap, a lovely bar of scented soap. And that soap came from the soap shop in Port Dover. We're going to put each of these items in a separate box, which is the purpose of the 3 boxes. The tea lights are going to go in the middle box in the center because they're unscented, and they're going to keep the soap away from the chocolates, which are going on the top. The soap's going on the bottom. So now making a box is really easy. All you have to remember is you just measure what it is you're going to put in the box. Now I'm going to make the biggest box here. I've already made the other 2. This one's going to hold the chocolates, this one's going to hold the tea lights. Now you can see they're different sizes, very different sizes, height wise, and that's because you have to measure. One of your measurements is the height of your item, okay? And obviously the chocolates take up more, they need a deeper box than the tea lights do, okay? So let me just pop those to one side, keep them in the right order, and we'll bring in the paper cutter and scorer. Okay, now to fit my soap, I need to measure the bottom of the soap from the across the widest points. Now you've got 6 points here, okay, so I'm going to measure them all, and it's about 3 1/4. Yeah, it's about 3 1/4 inches across the bottom. So the base of my box has to be 3 1/4 inches. Okay, so that's one measurement. 3 1/4 square. All right. So then I need to measure the height of the item, and it's about 1 inch. Okay, so I now know that the sides of my box, coming up the sides, have to be at least 1 inch. All right, so you have to add that twice because you've got 2 sides to your box, 2 sides to your box, and then you need a piece to fold in. I'm going to make the other piece is 7/8. So I need a piece of card that is going to be exactly 7 inches square, because I'm going to have a 3¼ inch square in the center. My first side is going to be 1 inch on each side, so that's going to be 5 inches square, and then I'm going to have 7/8 of an inch to tuck in, which is just less than my 1 inch. 7/8 on each side to tuck in. You add it all up and you get 7 inches square. Okay, and my diagram is nothing special. So we've got 3½ inches for the base of the box. We've got 1 inch on each side, so if you add it this way you've got 5¼ and then I've got 7/8, well, hide that, 7/8 for the flaps that fold over into the box. You add all of that up, you get 3¼ 4¼ 5¼ 5¼ 6 1/8 7 inches. So I need a 7 inch square piece. Now I will tell you, for the lid of the box we're going to use DSP. Let me just show you. There's my 7 inch square for my box. This is my piece for for the lid for my box. Now if I turn this over and I line it up on 2/4, you'll see that it's got a little bit extra all the way around. Okay, I always make the lid of my box, I take the base of my box, and you think your lid's going to be the same size, I add 1/8 of an inch to that measurement there. So instead of 3 2/8, I would have 3 3/8 for the center, for the base in the middle. My sides are the same, my pieces that fold over the same. So what it means is I cut a 7 inch square for my box. I cut a 7 1/8 inch square for the lid for the box. And that's the only difference in these two in the box and the lid. Let me just put my scissors there and see them. So we've got a 7 inch square and a 7 1/8 inch square. We're going to do some scoring here. Get my cutting blade out of the way. So because my top piece, the piece that folds into the lid, I'm gonna score that first. So I'm going to score this all the way around on each side at 7/8 of an inch and 1 7/8 of an inch. So there's 7/8. Nice and straight. 7/8 and 1 7/8. Turn at a 1/4 turn. 7/8. Oops. 1 7/8. 7/8. And 1 7/8. That's 3 sides, and then 7/8. 1 7/8. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see the lines really well there. You can sort of see them, my score lines. We're going to score exactly the same measurements on the lid. Now you're saying to yourself, but you said the lid's an extra 1/8 of an inch in the center, but because you're scoring from the outside edges, it's going to leave you with that extra 1/8 of an inch in the center. So here we are. Now you don't want to press too hard when you're scoring your DSP. You got to be able to see your lines, but you can cut right through. So we're going 7/8 and 1 7/8 again. You can cut right through your DSP with your scoring blade. So you just need to be a little bit lighter when you're scoring your DSP. 7/8. 1 7/8. 7/8. Last side, 7/8. Just see that? I think it moved a little bit. Yes, it did. 7/8 and 1 7/8. So there we have this scored on all four sides. You can see it better on this side than you can on the pattern side. Let me just put the cutter out of the way. So I think, speaking from experience, it's easier to do all your score, fold on and burnish on your score lines, then do your cutting. Okay, so doing that. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because this is going to be the outside, the lid of my box, and that's the side I want to show. Now, as always, if you get stuck or my instructions are not clear, you know, you can always call me or email me and we'll work through it together. If you need to. Because I know I'm going pretty fast here, but this is going to be a bit of a longer video, I'm thinking. Okay, now is a good time to take your ruler and measure the base of your box. I've got 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, that's right, and this is going to be, let me just see, 3 3/8 by 3 3/8, and that's good. So that makes my lid 1/8 of an inch bigger than the box. So now to cut. So you can see the score lines really well, quite well now. So what we're going to do, we're going to hold it like this. The first cut is going to come on an angle, just, there's 1 square, 2 square, the big piece in the middle I'm cutting on an angle like that, down to the corner, and then I'm going to cut it off. Okay, I'll make that straight, it's not quite straight. Oops. There, better. So that's my first cut in my, I'm holding the card in my left hand. My first cut was angled to the corner there, and then cut in 2 squares. This one I'm going to cut off that, and I'm going to turn the card a 1/4 turn, and then I'm going to angle that like that. I'm moving along, I'm cutting this on an angle, turn it, cut this right up to the corner, cut that on an angle. And the reason you're cutting it on an angle, when I say cut on an angle, is just so that when you fold your box together, you've got room in case your measurements weren't quite square, you know. You've got a little room for error is what you've got. You've got wiggle room. There. Mark. There. There, so I've cut those pieces out. So we've got a piece that's sitting like this right now. Now when I fold, these 4 squares here are called tabs. When I fold those in, I'm going to want them to be a little bit smaller than a little bit smaller than square. So I'm going to hold my card like this. I'm going to cut straight down here to the second score line. So that makes my tab. This side here, the right hand side, I'm going to cut on an angle. like that, so that when it folds in and this piece folds over, it's got room to do it without getting stuck, or without making the fold not square is the best way. Then I'm going to take, this is the one I've just cut here and cut there, I'm going to turn my card a quarter turn. I'm going to cut the next one straight down to there and on an angle, quarter turn, straight down on an angle, last one, straight down and on an angle. That was a bit there. Okay, so now I've got this is the base for my box. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side and I'm going to cut the top of the box exactly the same way on an angle. And because you can't really see as well on the DSP, I'm going to fold it down and use my so that I can see where my creases are. Okay, trying to do that, keeping my finger out of the way for you, but and this is a little box or a set of boxes that you could use for anything. As I say, the first set I'm going to make into a birthday set. This set is Valentine. You could make it just, you know what, it would make a lovely thinking of you box if you had somebody who was a little bit under the weather. It's up to you what you put in the boxes. I mean, I'm calling this a bath pack for Valentine's Day, but I mean, really you could make it, let me see, I'm going here and snipping this corner off, quarter turn. I'm making this a bath pack, but because I'm using soap and candles and chocolates, but you could make it whatever. A birthday pack, you could put chicken soup if you like in there, and like a little get well pack, Valentine's pack, a birthday pack, whatever you need to make it. Get those out of the way. Now the only glue I'm going to use, and you don't have to use glue, the idea is this box, if you fold it together, it should stay together, but just because I don't want it to fall apart, I'm going to put glue on there. This is on the inside of the lid. Whoops, right off there. There. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my first side and tip it up like this. Tuck the flap in, bring this piece up, make sure it's nice and square on my corner. And fold that flap down. Okay, then turn it a quarter turn, tuck that flap around, bring this up and over, quarter turn. When you get to the third one, you have to make sure both your tabs are tucked in, and you're going to put it up to this one. Oops. Turn it, and there's your last tab gone in all by itself here. There. And now I'm just going to take my bone folder and just press it down on the inside just to make sure it's all nicely sat down. Okay, taking the box, doing the same thing again. Little adhesive. Take my first corner, bring the side up, square it off, turn that down. Whoops, turn that down. Took my next quarter turn, took my next corner in, took my next corner, turn it a quarter turn, took the 2 tabs in, bring the side up. There's one. Make sure the last one is nice and straight and nice and square. Tuck it in. Again, take your bone folder, press them down. There's your box. Got a little snip on that corner. There's your box and there's your lid. Now if everything works well, the lid should fit on the other. Okay, so let's pack these boxes. So in the bottom one we've got this soap. Now the soap didn't come wrapped in saran wrap. I've wrapped this in saran wrap. There's the logo for Cottage North Soap Works, and that soap is delicious. It smells gorgeous. So there's the soap in the bottom box. There's the lid on it. The middle box is going to have the unscented candles in it. Okay, goes there, and then the top box is going to have the chocolates. And there's the lid on the chocolates. So that's going to sit like that. So there we have 3 lovely little boxes, all made specifically for the sizes of the items going in the box. All right, I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. I've got some Highland Heather ribbon here, and I'm going to take a yard or so of ribbon. Just see, there's my disc. Oops. A yard or so of ribbon. And I'm going to put it down on the table. Put my boxes upside down on it. And then pull my ribbon up the sides. I want to make sure my ribbons, my tails, are even with the same length. Okay, so I've made them the same length there. And then I'm going to cross them over like this, and I'm going to flip them so they go like that. Okay, that will help the ribbon to lie flat on the bottom. And then I'm going to turn my boxes right side up. Line them up nice and straight. Make sure my ribbon is nice and flat. Cross them over. And because I'm going to put a tag on this, I want my ribbon to, this piece of ribbon to go underneath all the pieces together. So to pull that, whoops, to pull that out. There. Okay. So you see my boxes are all tied together like this. I can put a nice little knot in here if I want to, and I do want to. Hold it down, pull it tight with my, pull it tight, put my finger on it, and then pull my ribbon down nice and tight. There. That's going to sit like that for just a minute till we do some stamping. I'm going to stamp in Highland Heather. And this is one of the stamps, and it says, happy to have you in my life. What else do we have in the set? There's a happy Valentine's Day. We could maybe cut that out as a banner. We'll see. Happy to have you in my life. And because it is a photopolymer stamp set, I'm bringing in my foam mat to stamp on. Okay. Now, I'm going to use this label to cut it out, so I need to leave a bit of room all the way around the side of the stamp set, the stamped portion. Happy to have you in my life. There. You know what, I think we're going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day and maybe cut that out as well. That fit on there. Oops, upside down. Yep. Yes, well, I just make that a little banner and attach it to the side. So let me just put those out of the way, and let's use bring in the little baby Stampin' Cut ink. I think I'm going to tape this down with a little bit of washi tape because I want it nice and square. I want this right in the center. There. So we'll just quickly run that through. Hold it. I never know where to hold this so you can see this come through. There. And I'm thinking we might want to back this piece on a piece of Highland Heather, I think. I think that would look nice. So have I got a scrap of Highland Heather here? Yeah, I do. Go. Pop this back in. Remembering to stagger the plates because it always helps. I think what I want to do is I'm going to just trim this up the side just slightly. Not an eighth of an inch on 3 sides to make it smaller, so that when I put it on the purple it's sort of got a backing. You know what I'm going to do? I have a really old corner rounder here that I just love. Round the corners. I think we'll just let that go right on. Oh, I think that looks nice. I think we'll just tie that right on here. So it says, "Happy to have you in my life." Make a nice little bow here. Nice and flat. Trim the ribbons. There. Trim this a little bit. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to make it 3/4. Right. And I'm just gonna trim this off. Okay. And then I'm going to use my paper snips. Do I have any paper snips? And I'm just going to notch this by just going in about 1/4 inch, and then from the corner to my point where I cut it, there, to the seam over here, I'm just going to stick that onto the ribbon with a glue dot. I'm just going to set it on an angle on the ribbon right there. So there you have it. That's today's project. 3 little boxes that with soap, candle and chocolate in. And the other one we made was soap, candle, chocolate again, but for a birthday. That's going to get a birthday sticker on it. So as always, feel free to use these, feel free to copy. If you have any trouble with the measurements or anything, by all means email me, I'm happy to help. And if you sell your product, just make sure somewhere you put a sticker on these boxes saying all the products used or Stampin' Up! Supplies. Have a great week everybody, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.